guys, I want to go ahead and say at the beginning of this video that I filmed this with the plan to do a voiceover before Delilah ever got sick. So I am now doing the voiceover after she's home, and she's been home for several days. Things are going well with her. But what I am doing here is I am taking some kitchen scraps, this time it's onion, and I'm going to plant them. You can replant so many different things that you buy from the grocery store and have it just keep giving and giving and giving. So what I did is we used the onions in the kitchen, of course, to eat them. I think we had them with a salad and something else. We had them 2 different times. But anyway, after I cut them up, I left part of the root part just a little bit longer than what you have to whenever you're eating them. And I put them in some water to let the roots get a little bit longer. And I let them stay in the water for probably about a week. And then I decided to just plant them today. I couldn't get a good angle, and I'm very sorry. But all I did was poke a hole in there, stick it in there, and there we go. I have 6 starts. I've done this before years ago and at the other house, but we did do it in the ground there. So we're going to see how it works in a pot here. Now, this part is something that Jeff was doing because it was a project he was doing. And on the day that I recorded the onions, after that, I don't know if, I think it was my allergies. They just started acting up, and I was feeling kind of just headachy and just really not great. So Jeff said, well, I'll do that shelf for the rest of this video. And I said, great, we need this shelf done anyway. But this is a shelf that we've had for years. I think it was one of Jeff's friends gave it to us. We had it on the back porch at the other house. And I just wanted to redo it and put it in the house to use it for later. Now, as of the day I am doing this voiceover, we have not put it in the house, but we do plan to put it in the house. So I'm going to speed the video up and let you guys watch Jeff clean it and paint it. He does this over a couple of days. Okay guys, now you're going to see what it looked like after it was cleaned. It's still wet, and at this point we were thinking about not painting it and just staining it so it will be all even and polyurethaning it, but we wanted it to be white, so we decided to go ahead and paint it anyway, so that it would brighten up the spot where we want to put it. So the next part you're going to see is going to be the next day after it has dried, And Jeff is going to start the painting process. He's also going to trim the legs off because they were messed up. And in the background, you'll see our dogs, Delilah, Allie, and Maggie. And this is, Delilah will come back there. She is right there on the steps. She follows Noah all over the place too. But, oh, and he sanded it before he did anything else. But the reason why I'm bringing up the dogs is this was recorded. It was the day before that Delilah started showing signs of being sick. And you saw her running up and down, wagging her tail, nothing at all going on. She was fine, or she seemed to be fine. But yeah, it is so weird how fast things happen. But anyway, I'm going to hush talking again, let you watch Jeff. I'm going to speed it up so you have to watch it like a lot. But anyway, not watch hours worth of work. It really wasn't hours, but still. I'm going to let you watch him sand it, and then he's going to paint it. Okay, so this is where he is going to start the painting process, and he paints it upside down, and then he flips it over so he can get the other side. Now, he only put one coat on the bottom side of the shelves because there won't be anything put on them, and this paint is really good and it covers really well, but he went ahead and did 2 coats everywhere else so that it would just be better coverage and last longer, because we are going to, of course, use the shelf for things, which I will be having a video out hopefully soon. It's just according to when I can get it in the house and everything. Right now the shelf is in the shed. We put it in there so it could dry and cure, but it's been drying and curing for just a while. So I'm going to let you guys listen to some more music and watch him paint. So now he's showing you after the first coat, and as you can see, it did cover really well. Or I might have been filming this. I really don't know which one of us was filming this. Both of us did a little bit of it, parts of it. But anyway, it was getting filmed. So that's what it looks like after the first coat. Like I said, it was really good coverage for the paint. And now he's going to do the second coat. Okay guys, Jeff got done with it, put it in the shed, and I'm showing what it looked like afterwards. Maybe I can start talking right. I don't know. That's not possible, is it? Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. And if you don't mind, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing, because I really want to know. If you have a prayer request, you can leave that down below as well. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, don't take any wooden nickels. And be sweet.